Friends in Recovery, the Addiction Recovery Podcast, is brought to you by the Friends in Recovery community, a thriving network of individuals who are fighting back against the stigma of addiction. Join our hosts as they speak up about the real issues of addiction, treatment, and recovery. Friends in Recovery, the Addiction Recovery Podcast, is available on Facebook, Podbean, iTunes, and YouTube 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Now, here are your friends in recovery.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Friends in Recovery podcast. I'm your host, Jersey Ed, again, along with Jill and Dan, Nature Dan, family specialist at your command here. Second week in a row, we have you guys on with us, and we are approaching the holiday season really quick. So we're gonna be talking about the holidays. Happy holidays, everybody! It's holidays. Yeah, it's the holidays are not too far away, and we'll get into that in a minute. But if you have any questions or you want to get a hold of us, please give us a call on our podcast hotline. Non-emergencies is 800-989-6504. If you want to email us, it's help@friendsandrecoverypodcast.com. That goes directly to the show. And you can email me. I'm not sure if Carl will be able to put it up here because we are using a new studio, guys. Feels good in a new studio, doesn't it, guys?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it does.
That old studio is dusty and old, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
You can email me directly. If you could put it up, that'd be great. It's jerseyed2018@gmail.com. And if you would like to be part of this show, we have an audience select area too. So you can be part of our audience. And we can get you guys on here. So just email me saying that you want to be on the show, and we'll send you a link to it, and we'll figure it all from there and see what happens from there. But guys, let me just do this. Hold on, let me see if I can play our. No, I can't. It's still not working, guys. Anyways, I had a little button there I can hit in the new studio. It's not letting me play any sound effects. We got sound effects. It's not letting me play. I might have to upload it. But anyways, welcome Facebook Live. You guys are here. And please, if you have any questions or want to add anything to the show on Facebook Live, just send it through the chat. Jill, Dan, welcome back to the show, guys. Great last show on literature, I think we were talking about last week, and how the just being service to ourselves and others, I guess, right? And coming upon the holiday season. Oh, before that, I want to mention Carl and Chelsea's podcast, Soberpod, guys. If you need a last minute Christmas gift, Soberpod is the way to go. 366 fucking days sober. There it is. If you get Amazon cards, right? Go to Amazon and order that book right there, right? Order that book. Anyways, I think this might be a perfect place for a commercial.
Yeah.
Are you a rebel seeking transformation in your recovery journey? Then 366 fucking days sober is the book for you. 366 daily meditations. This book by the Soberpod Recovery Podcast host and professional rebel, Carl, will help guide you towards a new way of thinking and living. Each daily meditation offers a fresh perspective, practical advice, and a healthy dose of Carl's irreverent humor to help you stay sober and embrace the challenges of life without drinking, drugging, or shitting your pants. Whether you're just starting your recovery journey or looking for a daily dose of encouragement and laughs, 366 fucking days sober is the book for you. So, if you're ready to transform your life and become the rebel you were meant to be, get your copy of 366 fucking days sober today. Available today on Amazon.com.
All right, there it is, Carl. Hopefully you added it in there. This is your stuff, Carl. I mean, if you want to make that Bentley payment, You got to add that commercial in. So anyways, guys, so all that business is done. Go see, go order the book. And we're going to talk about holidays. Struggles around the holidays. I shouldn't say I don't struggle around the holidays anymore, but I'm much more happier around the holidays now, because of my program. But, Jill, before we went on, you were talking about, we were kind of thinking out what we should name the show. And we said define normal, holiday recovery and being normal. But I liked what you brought up about being normal. Like, we're in recovery, right? But we also do the normal things. I mean, like we have the holidays. There's stressors in everybody's life, even without being in recovery. There's stressors in everybody's life, but we all handle them differently. And us as addicts and alcoholics, we had one way to handle it, and that was it, nothing else. There's other ways to handle it now, and good and bad ways in the normal world. In the normal world, it's good and bad. But, today we get to enter that world of normalcy and not go the other way, not get into that drinking and drugging. And the only way we knew how to handle things around the holidays, or going to grandma's house, or, the kids are coming, whatever it is, I know I would, holidays were a perfect excuse for me to get drunk, and then not just the Christmas or the Hanukkah holidays or New Year's,
St. Patty's
Day, any day, Yeah. Monday, February 3rd, whatever it was, So, but what's it? So we're going to talk about being normal around the holidays. And Jill, you brought this topic up. What, you want to talk a little bit about being normal around the holidays?
Well, I think for me, like, just being able to go to families or friends who do drink, or, not drug no more, because I don't have those people in my life, but people that I do know, some of them do drink. And I mean, for me, it's just, I can't do it. And am I at a place in my life where, oh my God, I get so overwhelmed with something and I'm going to drink? No. If I knew that I was in that state of mind, I'm not going to go to that person's house.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely wouldn't go. I would use my resources, my network. But most of the people that I do hang out with don't drink. However, there are family members that have a glass of wine, or, a few beers. And yeah, I think that it just comes with a choice at this point. If I want to use, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
It's nothing gonna stop me.
Yeah.
So being normal is just, it's a way of life for me. And I use my program, I do what I have to do. Friends in Recovery, 12 steps. And I just don't advertise to everybody in the world. Like, if I'm going to a social gathering, oh, by the way, I don't drink because I'm an alcoholic. I just don't drink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a great way of looking at it. A couple of things we can do. Early recovery, I would avoid those situations. Now, you said there's nothing that's going to stop me from using or drinking, but there is one thing that's going to stop me, is my program right now. And the way I work it, and the people, like, I love how you said, the people I surround myself with. So yeah, you're right. We don't put ourselves in those situations anymore. We don't put ourselves where, it's going to be too hectic for us, or whatever the case may be. We're looking at life differently. We don't have to go to those holiday parties. Well, where we work, we don't have those kind of holiday parties. But if you're out there in the recovery world and you go to a normal party at a company, there's going to be booze, right? There's going to be people getting really fucking drunk. There's going to be people getting, like, stupid shit they shouldn't fucking say or do, right? Around their coworkers. And, we don't have to go to those. Maybe our spouses, maybe your spouse or anybody's spouse, just because we're in recovery, they might have a company party that we have to go to,
Right.
there's going to be booze there. So you have a choice. Like you said, Jill, we don't have to go. Right.
Right.
But I know I would want to, my wife works in this field too. So I'm pretty safe all around as far as that goes. But, we just got to use everything that we learn. And if you're new in recovery, right, there's, reach out to people, go to meetings, there's alkathons around. I used to love going to alkathons and clubs and, in the sober clubs all the time. And that always helped. There was always so much fucking food at those places, right? It's like you just eat all day, go to meetings all day. Right. And that was my early recovery, was doing that stuff, and, how about, what about you, Dan, what's your thoughts on being normal in recovery? Do you have a spouse or somebody that you have to go to parties with or whatever?
No. So actually, that's a good thing to bring up. So I am going through a divorce, which is a good thing. I've been separated for like 3.5 years, and I'm able to finally be normal, because I'm comfortable with being by myself and sitting alone. But like having this much time in sobriety, like my new normal is just being sober. So it's like, it's not hard, for me to like just go out and do what they would say is normal things, like to go and sit at a bar and eat food, with coworkers that are drinking or family members that are drinking. It's not like a trigger, or it's not a problem. And it's just like a normal way of living. But I can see how for some people that could be a problem. So like, on our last podcast, it said, to have empathy towards those kind of people and things like that. So like, I still, like remind myself of those things. And I'm mindful of like my family members who don't drink and things like that. But, like my new normal is just staying sober and doing the next right thing and helping people in recovery. And, with the jobs that we have and that I have in particular, for me, I'm able to give back every day. So it's like a continuous thing where I'm able to fulfill my need of giving away the gift of sobriety that I got to keep it. So, 24 hours at a time, I get to keep it.
Yeah. Being normal in recovery. I like that. And that's what we have to be. That's what we strive to be. Cause I remember early, like I said, early recovery was tough. Right. Yeah. And, we don't want to live recovery and live 24 hours a day, 7 days a week in recovery. We want it in the back of our minds. Absolutely. But, going, if I was to go to an alkathon now and stay there, 8 hours, it wouldn't fly with my wife right now. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that's wrong or right. It depends on where you are in your recovery. Right. And like you said, Dan, I'm giving back now daily, I'm giving back. And that's the important piece is giving back to keep it. And, that's the way that, that's kind of what we need, kind of I need to do anyways. I shouldn't say we, I don't want to speak for you guys, but that's what I kind of need to do is to kind of give it back to keep it. So
I think that's a big
I didn't
piece
even
of
go
it.
home for the first like couple of years of sobriety because I knew it wasn't safe. You know what I mean? Like, because there was a lot of things going on in my family's house that I knew was not in the best interest of my recovery to go home. I had to wait until I was able, and even when I first started going home a couple of years later, I had brought like my sponsor or, somebody in my network just to check in, make sure everything's okay. And I work on Christmas. I work in the field that I work at. I work on Christmas because that's where I want to be. It gives me joy to see their faces,
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and being around people who want to be around their families and they can't be because they're working on themselves. And I get it. It's tough. And I was in treatment on my birthday. But it's, I think maybe Easter, I can't remember, but anyways, but when I look back on it, I'd rather be in treatment or in a program around the holidays than out there using. At least my family would know where I'm at. If I'm at an alkathon or whatever, going to a meeting, whatever that looks like, my family would know where I'm at. Because when I was out there, using, they didn't know where I was. I'm going to go out to the store. Well, he ain't coming back for a while. We know that, and he gets stuck at the bar, and, because there are some bars open and on holidays, and they have to accommodate.
Gas stations are always open.
There you go, gas stations, all that stuff. There's triggers everywhere. I don't care if it's the holidays or if it's like I said, February 24th or whatever it is. It's always there. It's always going to be there. And I think striving to get to be normal around the holidays is huge, right? And that's what we all want. We don't want to go back to that old life. We want to figure out our new life and figure out where we're going and how what that new thing is going to look like, but there are some family members that that I need to stay away from also. I don't, not that I don't love them. It's just that I need to stay away from them. Not that I'm going to drink, but I get into a bad spot, in my head. Right. I don't need to be in that spot either. Even though I'm not, I've been this far removed from it, I can still be an asshole. I think, Dan, you were talking about that in the last show. I can still be an asshole just because I'm this deep into it, and those moments are few and far between, but I'm still an asshole once in a while. I am. And I correct myself, hopefully immediately, but I don't need to put myself in those situations, and if I do, I want to be prepared. Like you said, you might bring your sponsor, you might bring your, you might bring phone numbers. The other thing too is everybody told me, drive yourself, because if you have to get out wherever you're going, drive yourself. That was another big thing that I would do, is I would drive myself to different, parties. So, but I never really went to any Christmas parties in early recovery. I kind of, I really didn't do it. I did go to like I said, all the alkathons and the Christmas parties that some of these or holiday parties that some of the groups would throw, and that would be my early sobriety. But what do you like? What's your thoughts, guys? Even if we're defining normal or we're being normal in recovery, what does that mean to you guys? And even it doesn't necessarily mean it has to be around the holidays, but what's that to you guys?
Good, Dan.
Well, for me, being normal in recovery, there is no being normal in recovery. For me, it's living my life without drugs or alcohol. Mm-hmm. And being a productive member of society and helping the next addict or alcoholic try and achieve sobriety. That's it. Yeah. Yeah, that's just it.
And that's our normal, right? That's, we talked about this before the show started. The only thing normal in my house is the setting on the dishwasher, is the normal setting, right? I always tell this story. I don't think I ever shared it on here, but my daughter, one day we were driving past one of her friend's houses when she was small. This was years and years ago. She said, Ed, she's my stepdaughter. She goes, Ed, how come so-and-so they can't be normal like us. I'm like, oh my God, like, and I had to explain to her, everybody has their own normal, and she was very, very young. Everybody has their own normal, and it doesn't mean that drinking at a party is wrong. It's just, I can't do it. Right. Having booze at a party is wrong. It's just not for me. It's just not what I do. It's not where I go. But so that normal shouldn't say could. It does look different in each one of our households, right? In every house that's around us, all our neighbors, it's all different. We celebrate different. We celebrate different holidays. We give different gifts, whatever that holiday would be. But there was really no normal. And I like that you said that, Dan, that like, there's really no normal for me. And I think that could go for just about everybody. Like, you don't know what you're going to get, even if you're not in recovery. If you walk into Aunt Susie's house and Uncle Joey's house, and who knows what's going on there, they may have a tradition of getting drunk for their whole, and it's not for me to judge anybody. If that's what you want to do, that's okay. I'm okay with it, but
right.
Yeah.
I'll probably not be around it because of what I was taught, because of, I know what I can go back to, or just be in a bad spot. Who the fuck wants to sit around a holiday party being, fuck, man, when are we going to get the fuck out of here? This sucks. The food, we're already going to bring the fucking food out. Uncle Jack has been drinking fucking Jack Daniels for the last 3 hours and there's no fucking food out. Come on, and all you got is Budweiser and Heineken. There's no fucking water. The tap doesn't even work. I mean, come on, it's so that's where we can send ourselves to that. And even the holiday parties, company parties. Good.
What would you suggest somebody do in that situation? So they're stuck in a situation. They're at a family member's house.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're stuck. There's all they have is alcohol, and they're in recovery,
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think that maybe we should talk about what are, somebody who's been in recovery, and somebody's stuck in that spot, we know
Mm-hmm.
what we would do.
Yeah.
I'm having a hard time hearing you, Dan.
Yeah, Dan, hold the microphone up a little bit.
Yeah.
Here, let me get my hand.
Well, basically what Dan was saying, and if we couldn't hear, but he said that, what would somebody do in recovery if they were stuck in a situation like I was just talking about? And we can look at that, Dan, from somebody new in recovery, somebody maybe, a couple years in recovery, somebody with long-term recovery. So I could tell you what I would do. I would know where I'm going,
Yep.
right? And then decide if I should or shouldn't go.
I wouldn't be there.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't be there. But when you're new in recovery, you want to, it's you don't know everything, you don't understand it, and the only reason why I say that is because I did it. I showed up where I shouldn't have been. I had to leave. I had to get the fuck out because I didn't want to drink, number one, in early recovery. And number two, what could, I always say, what good purpose would this serve me to be here? Right. And either good or bad, what good purpose would it serve me? Well, you know what? Everybody's drinking. I need to leave. Or nobody's drinking and this is a place for me, and I always assess that, before I go into this situation, and,
have those conversations before, have the hard conversations before people are going into these situations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. Don't think you can handle it alone. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like Thanksgiving that just passed, my kids came, my son came from Jersey and he drinks. He's an earthling and but he didn't drink here. He did not. And he respected the fact that he was not bringing it in my house, and like he's normal. He doesn't have an issue with it. But
what is normal?
The setting on a dishwasher.
We can have a few drinks, have somebody else drive that's not drinking, and then go to bed and get up and go to work every day.
Yeah.
Does it every now and then. He's not, he doesn't have an issue. So But he respected the fact that he was not bringing in my house.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I like that too. Well, have the party at my house, right? There's no alcohol here. There's not going to be alcohol here. And people know that. So, let's look at it the opposite way. Let's look at the normal people coming to us normal in recovery, right? If I'm having a party at my house, they know there's not going to be alcohol here. Are they welcome to bring it? Yeah, but most people respect it and they don't. And not that I tell them not to, they just know I'm in recovery. And usually if somebody brings something, it pisses me off, not because they bought something, because they drink one fucking beer or one little glass of wine out of the fucking bottle. And then that's it. I'm like, are you out of your mind? First of all, you're bringing a 6-pack to my house. What the fuck is that going to do? Number one. Number two, if you don't have a case, you know what I mean? That's the old thinking, but, I don't care. You can do what you want. And, but that's a difference today that I'm in a better spot. And being on this podcast and furthering our recovery and talking about it, guys, is really, really important. Because, you get it out and you kind of get things through, you work things through your head and you come up with a thing, something to solve your problems, if there's a situation you're in. So, Dan, what have you been in those situations? I've been running. My head's been running. Have you been in those situations?
So I have like an actual situation that I wanted to talk about. So I have a neighbor who still consistently drinks. He's an alcoholic, and at my house, nobody drinks. Like we don't drink at all, and it's not a problem. Like. He could come over, and it's no issue. So right before Thanksgiving, he comes over with his wife. His wife comes over, and he must have thought that because he wouldn't normally bring alcohol over to the house, and he just comes over. I see him bring this big bag, and I'm like, and he was already drunk before he came to the house, and. I didn't say anything, because it's not a big deal, but it kind of was, because after he left and he was a big drunk asshole the whole time, I felt some kind of way, like he doesn't, that's a respect thing. Like, I don't drink, that I'm in recovery. Like I wouldn't have had a history with him, it wouldn't have been a big deal. Because if he was a stranger and it was at a restaurant, it's not a problem, But that's somebody close to me. Like he's lived here 15 years. Like I know you. So it's like put a barrier between like our families. Like he doesn't come over. He doesn't we don't talk to him. Like it's been a hard barrier put up there. So, but that's just something that, the barrier that's set is for what I'm willing to tolerate. Like that's for my happiness. And I think in the end of the day, that's all that matters. Like I'm not here for his happiness. I'm here for mine.
Yeah. And that is true. I'm here for my happiness. Right. And, listen, people are going to do things and we have to be ready for it. Right. Just because Dan or Jill or Ed stopped using and drinking, doesn't mean everybody else has to. Doesn't even mean that another alcoholic has to. Right. It just, I have to take care of me and that shit's going to pop up. Like shit like that's going to pop up no matter what. And we just got to be ready for it. And that's why when you work a program consistently, when you read the literature, when you get on meetings, when you call your sponsor, you're ready for that. Like, I can walk outside now and there might be somebody wandering the streets drunk, and I can't tell you how many times I've met somebody when they were drinking because of the business that I'm in. And, and they're telling, they're describing what they've been doing, you know what I mean? So I can't avoid that on in my, what I do for a living, but I can be ready for it. I can prepare myself for it. I can, like I said, go to meetings and do my meditation, whatever it is, whatever it is to get me through whatever situation it is. And it's not just for recovery. Let's talk about normal. My running, I'm running a marathon, soon. And, probably after this podcast is up, I would have ran the marathon, but, we're recording a little bit earlier. But I prepare for the marathon, right? I prepare for it. And if I think I'm going to go into the marathon, not preparing, not training, not, reading book, whatever it is, guess what, guys? It's not going to happen. So you got to be prepared, whatever situation you go in, right? Just be prepared for it. And I'm not saying you have to study the book of Alcoholics Anonymous and take a, 100-page test on the steps. No, none of that, just be in the know and surround yourself with good people. That would be my thoughts on all that.
Yeah.
So, and the holidays are tough. The holidays, are not normal. There's no normal holiday because there's always something going on. There's always some stress of, gift giving or did I get the right one? Or, I heard, God, where was it? Oh, what's his name? Jay Shetty, a couple weeks ago, I think I even shared it, but he said, ask the person who you're buying a gift for what they want, right? Yeah. Cuts a lot of the stress down, right? And cuts a lot of the bullshit out to trying to guess and do they like it? Don't they like it? Because that stress causes that stuff causes stress throughout the year. I mean, throughout whatever. So if you ask somebody, that'll knock that down too. All these little things you can do, not to stress out, and the holidays are huge for that. But it just cracks me up. We want to enjoy the holidays, but do we really enjoy the holidays if we're going through all that? Right. I mean, it's just crazy how things happen and we think everything's normal. Even the normal people aren't fucking normal around the holidays. Let's be serious. I mean, let's be serious. So, but, I do want to say that, last night I flew in from I was away and I flew in and I walked into our house here and it was decorated and I got this feeling of being a kid again. Like when I walked into my it's not decorated like my grandma's house, none of that, but that feeling of just being safe and being at home and being, I didn't think, anything except for, I didn't think I'm an alcoholic, when we were younger, that safe, that safety and that enjoyment of being in a household that did that. And that's what I got last night. And it was a good feeling. It was a good, it just reminded me of the old days before the drinking, right. So. Anybody have any thoughts on holidays before we close here or anything that you guys want to pass on to any of our listeners?
Yes, please join Friends in Recovery meetings Thursday nights. Me and Dan. Dan's going to be my special co-host this week.
Oh, okay.
We might be doing some other meetings if there's any openings. But, and I hope everybody has a great holiday.
Yeah. Check us out on YouTube. Hit that like and subscribe.
Check us out on Facebook Live, YouTube. Just have a happy holiday. Be safe and don't drink and drive.
Amen to that. How about you, Dan? Any closing words for the holidays?
That's all I got. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays, everybody. Yes, please just be safe out there. Just know that these three people in this room right now love you. And if you think nobody out there does, this is for you. We do love you. We care about you. And we want you to come back and listen to more of these episodes and, have a healthy, safe, happy, and sober holidays, guys. Stay sober, everybody.
This concludes this episode of Friends in Recovery, the Addiction Recovery Podcast. Follow us on Facebook for past shows and updates, and enjoy free access to twice daily support meetings. Friends in Recovery, the Addiction Recovery Podcast. is available on Facebook, Podbean, iTunes, and YouTube 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.